a whole lot will be happening in the city center here in Cross River State anytime soon. And this is a program packaged by the World Bank to ensure that there is not just what we call the population census, but there is a house to house census in order to have a database in Cross River State with the World Bank. Now, this is what we have to do because we have three gentlemen who have joined us to open more on this thing we're about to have here in a state. Remember that Cross River State has been recording a whole lot of firsts, and this is one of those firsts that we will be seeing shortly in the city center here in Calabar. Let me quickly introduce to you our guest on the show this morning. I have the state focal person of SFTAS program, Oka Iwara, this morning. Good morning, sir. Good to have you join us.
Good morning. Thank you. Thank you, viewers.
And beside him is Ted Ian. Ted Ian is the State Project Manager, SFTAS DLI 11.3. Good morning. So good to have you join us.
Good morning.
At the very last, at the other extreme, is Philip Otigbo. He is the Director, CRGIA. Good morning, sir. So
Good
good to have you
morning.
join us.
Good morning, viewers.
Let me start with you, as state focal person. Your presence in Cross River State, the city center precisely, Calabar. Let's get to know what SFTAS is all about.
Thank you very much. SFTAS is actually an acronym for States Physical Transparency, Accountability, and Sustainability Program. It is a 4-year program designed by the World Bank in partnership with the federal government of Nigeria with the development objective to strengthen and encourage participating states of the Federation to manage their physical resources in a manner that is transparent, accountable, and sustainable. There are two sides to this program. The first is a program, the SFTAS program for resource, and the SFTAS program for technical assistance. The SFTAS program for resource is an incentive program designed to award grants to states that have agreement with the World Bank using set guidelines to achieve, and then when they achieve that, they will be awarded the grants. This program, this particular program, this particular exercise that my colleagues here will be expanding on soon, is actually falling under this SFTAS program for resource. And it has to do with what we call disbursement linked result, that is 11.3, and has to do with property enumeration of in urban areas, particularly in Calabar municipality and Calabar South. It is a program that the World Bank has designed, and when the state is, fully completed it and a data is produced in a format that is acceptable by the World Bank, we are likely to attract about 2.5 million US dollars. And then let me take you to the second component of the program. Second component of the program has to do with the SFTAS program for technical assistance. This one is actually about capacity building, initiatives that are designed to assist the implementing MDS of the projects and activities that are under the program of the SFTAS program for results. And like we'll find out later, those capacities have been built, and I think Cross River State has been participating on these programs since 2019 and has been doing very well. And we are looking up to 2022. In fact, what is important here is the fact that every year, for you to achieve the grants, you need to undergo. In fact, as a matter of fact, the states go through what we call annual performance assessments, conducted by the independent verification agent, that is the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation, to assess the states on these various activities and projects targets so that it can be achieved for the disbursement of those grants. Thank you very much.
Thank you so very much, State Focal Person. Ted, you are the state project manager of DLR 11.3. I'd love to talk to us. What is the program DLR 11.3 all about?
Okay, so DLR 11.3 is a subset of the SFTAS program, and DLR deals specifically with updating property records. Now, the program for results, the World Bank now uses what it calls the program for results. What it does is it disburses grants according to certain milestones. So for the DLR 11.3, the target is to update property records in at least 50% of the buildings of the households in urban areas. In Cross State, the urban areas classified by the World Bank are Calabar South and Calabar Municipal. So the objective is to update property records from 50% of the buildings in those two LGAs, which comes up to about 33,000 properties. So what this entails is us sending enumerators into the field, hopefully starting next week, that will go from house to house, asking very basic questions from each household, from each building. Basically, the name of the name of the owner of the property, what is the property used for, and probably take a few pictures. And that is what we use to update our database. So if at the end of, because we have a target for June 30th, if by the end of June 30th we manage to evaluate that those 33,000 properties, Cross State government will get a grant of 2.5 million dollars. So hopefully sometime next week you'll probably be seeing a whole lot of enumerators going out into the field with some wards of Calabar South and Calabar Municipal that Philip will give precise information about. So the aim of our being here and being on other programs as well is to let people know that this is going to happen soon as it starts the public and ask for cooperation for these enumerators as well.
Okay, and I would love to come up with that enumeration. Let me just pause there and go to Mr. Phil now. Sometime last year, His Excellency, one of his very great quotes, he said he would rather tax his brain than to tax the people of Cross River State. Now, let's look at this program. How would this program help the government serve the people better?
Definitely. We are all aware that development is data driven. Without data, you can't develop anywhere. You need to know where things are not, by this enumeration that we are about to do. So the government will have a better understanding of the communities, where they have lights, where there is no lights, where there are roads, where there are no roads, and so on and so forth. So it gives government a proper footing to be able to plan well for the people. So it is a win-win for the government and for the people, because the government will have proper information on what the people are, where there are no markets, where there are no schools, where there are no hospitals, and so on and so forth. So it will really help the government to be able to give the people the dividend of democracy. So it's all about the people.
Okay. Mr. Iwara, we know that World Bank, has actually been engaging in a lot of interventions and rising from health to educational sector. But let's get to find out, why has the World Bank paid interest in this? What's the role of the World Bank in this?
Actually, to start with, the role of the World Bank here in this particular project is that, like is trying to encourage and to strengthen the capacity for the different states to manage their fiscal resources in a more transparent and accountable way. And apart from that, the World Bank's role is also to build the capacity of this, of the implementing agencies to ensure that they are able to deliver on these targets with regard to these projects and activities. You know, that's the essence of the involvement. And apart from that, they have also supported the project. That one is a technical detail that we will talk about, think about geospatial handling of issues in connection with the, the entire project. So, thank you.
Okay. Ted, let's get to know how the people of Cross River State would benefit directly this project?
Yes, I think Philip talked a bit about that. This is essentially a development planning tool that the World Bank is handing to Cross River State government. By the time this exercise is completed, I must stress that this is just phase one. So phase one covers just Calabar Municipal and Calabar South. After to earn the grant, so the idea is that this should be extended to other urban areas in Cross River State. So this is a development planning tool to help us map the state to let us know exactly what is where, the deficits, and then with this data, with this information, we will enable the Cross River State government to plan and improve the welfare of the state, basically. So this is essentially a development planning tool that the World Bank is handing to us for us to use to develop the state. And the Cross River State government has taken advantage of this opportunity and will go beyond phase one and extend this to other urban centers across the state as well.
Okay, Philip, let me get you. You're the director of the Cross River Geographic Information Agency, and your agency is not alien to what is about happening from next week. Let's get to find out. Describe the process for us. Could you take us through the enumeration process?
Okay, thank you very much. The enumeration process is very seamless. It's a straightforward thing. The World Bank, using their initiative, they have been able to come up with an app that is called Survey 123. Now, this Survey 123 application is downloadable to handheld devices, and we are expected to get the enumerators trained on how to use the application in their devices. And then we will also have supervisors who will be guiding the enumerators in the field. So going out there to the field, they will just ensure that they get attribute data and spatial data for each building footprint, for each property. The building footprint refers to property, refers to lands, whether they are developed or undeveloped. So we are creating a land data bank for the entire state. So the enumerators will be going out there to get information about the ward. We are concentrating about 5 wards in Calabar South. We have 3 wards in Calabar Municipality. We'll be addressing 2 wards at the moment. So in each of those wards, we'll have the coordinates of the land, and then the block number, if there's any plot number, street name, owner's type, and telephone numbers of the owners or the occupiers that are staying in the place. And then for each piece of land, we want to find out, is there a building on it? What use is the building put into? Is the building fenced? Is there any formal document for the property, maybe C of O or consent certificate? If there are no formal documents, are there informal documents that the owners have? We are going to also find out the availability of public services such as electricity, sewage, and then street light, waste disposal, and all that, and so on and so forth. So these are all the information that the enumerators will be getting from the owners of these properties or the occupiers of the properties. So the government just wants to know, the World Bank wants also to know the standard of living of the people. Is it so low? The World Bank is prepared to upgrade the standard of living to a higher level for the people. And also the government of Cross River State is prepared to bring the dividends of democracy to the people that needs it most. So I think that's the essence of this property records. It will enable even the owners of the property, they'll have better evaluation for their own property, so that in case they need credit facilities, they have the right document to go to the bank and get loans and other things to enable their lives improve.
Let me speak with you now, Eva. Let's get to know, how long is this enumeration going to last? What's the duration?
I think we are looking at 22 days to drive the process, and probably from Monday we should set the ground running to take the exercise. Like we are behind time. We are supposed to deliver on this particular target by the end of June 2022. So we are hoping that we're able to achieve that in that time frame.
Would there be any need for a mop-up if we can't achieve?
No, that has been planned for.
Okay.
Yes, there will be a mop-up exercise.
Okay. So Ted, let's also get to know the areas, because though here Philip had mentioned that, but let's get to know the areas once again that will be covered by this enumeration.
So I think Philip will.
Yes,
Philip will
I'll
talk
take
about
that.
it.
Okay.
Just as I mentioned earlier on, we are focusing on 5 wards in the 2 local government of Calabar Municipality and Calabar South. In Calabar South, we are looking at Ward 9. Ward 9 is bounded by Chamley Street, Jelly Street, Farm Street, and Main Avenue. Now, all the streets within that block are covered. Streets such as King Duke, Ephraim, Maple, Ebuka, Wilkie, Iyokon, Ekundu, William George, Foster, Young Edem Street, Eyokon Street, Abatim, and Hart. All of that is within Ward 9. And then we'll also be doing Ward 10, still in Calabar South, which covers or is bounded. A block of Ward 10 is bounded by Target, Golden Men Avenue, and Palm Street, part of Palm Street. So within that boundary, we have Edem Street, Academy, and nothing, Weber, Oguaya, Ebito, Adi, Esefi Street, Atu Street, More, Nelson Mandela, and Elijah Henshaw. All of those streets are within Ward 10. And we'll also be doing Ward 12, which is pretty large, bounded by Men Avenue, Eko Abasi, New Airport, and Antigua. And within those boundaries, we have Edebom Street, Ekenetu Street, Misoro Street, Otibe Street, Eno Street, Musaha Street, Kenya Street, Azikiwe, Atapa, Akpareka, Yellow Palm Street, Edemedet, Atamunu, Nyobong, and so on and so forth. So many streets within the Ward 12. And then in Calabar Municipality, we have two wards. Ward 8. Ward 8 starts somewhere from Ikorishi, covers part of Ikoransa, then in the federal housing up to EPZ area, the barracks, all the way to around the NTA. All of that is part of Ward 8. And then we also have Ward 4 in Calabar Municipality. Ward 4 begins from IBB, where we are here, all the way bounded by Murtala Mohammed up to MCC, down to housing estates, and then bounded by the airport. All of that, so many streets are within that block of boundaries. So those are the areas that we'll be focusing on during the exercise for the next 3 weeks.
In fact, let me just stick with you. Let's look at how you get into the numerators.
Well, we have done similar programs in the States previously. So we already have we have a pool of enumerators, which from time to time we update. If perhaps the number we need is not enough, we just increase it and ensure that they are sufficient to carry out the exercise.
Okay, well, let's get to, I think, in closing, we're not going to talk to perseverance. Some may feel that this is a way where the state government it's an avenue to get them tasked, to start tasking them. So what would be your word? Look, this is not all about the government getting your information in order to tax you, but it's a way that will even bring good to you. What would be your word to perseverance?
Yes, actually, I want the people out there to understand that this project we're about to embark upon is not for taxation. It is to be able to gather data and property records that will assist the government to plan for the people and to manage, development planning in the state. That's what I can say.
That's also pretty word.
Yes, so as you can see in this first phase, we are targeting 5 wards, 3 in Calabar South and 2 in Municipal. But that is just for the first phase, which ends on the 30th of June. Like I said, this program is going to be extended across all the urban areas of Cross River State. So we are going to have, in the future, we're going to do enumeration in a lot more places. So this is just a development planning tool to assist the state government in planning better for the people, to realize what is lacking, infrastructure, who owns what and all that. So and then our enumerators will work quickly. We plan for it to be a pretty painless process. I don't think an enumerator will stay more than 10 minutes in each build, in each location. Ask a few basic questions, take a few pictures, and move on. So we count on the cooperation of all cross-governors, like they've always done, because we've done a lot of these things in the past, census, immunization. So I think we are used to people turning up on our doorsteps and asking questions. So we just solicit for the cooperation of cross-governors to make this as quick and seamless as possible.
Thank you, Philip. Let's get to it.
Well, for me, I think the viewers, this is an opportunity for them to understand that this is an intervention program from the World Bank. It's not just Cross River State, it's cutting across the country. All 36 states of the Federation are involved. So people shouldn't run away. The World Bank is looking for them for their good. And so they should struggle to get enumerated so that their names and their property should be found in the database that the World Bank will be using directly to minister to them. And it's just that the administration has to be done through the state. That is why agencies and NDAs in the state are involved. Otherwise, if the World Bank would do it on their own, they should have gone ahead to do it even without us. But they have to use us, just like God will use men, to talk to people. That is how the World Bank is using agencies of the state to talk to the people. So they shouldn't feel we are coming, we have nothing, we are not, I don't work in the tax office, I don't think any of them does. So we are here to enable them have an interface with the international donors so that they can get the necessary benefits that they deserve.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I must really thank you for your time on the show. And please do remember that in the course of that project, we will be bringing you up to get more progress report on what is happening in our city center. Thank you. It's been a great time talking with the state focal person, SFTAS program, or Kaiwa. Thank you very much, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And Ted Ian.